What's up, guys? The 2019 MLB season is upon us, and this could very well be one of the most exciting campaigns ever. I'm honestly so excited for this season. At least 10 teams look like legitimate World Series contenders, and about half the league has a realistic chance at making the playoffs. And yeah, some guy named Bryce Harper signed with the Philadelphia Phillies. Another guy named Manny Machado joined the San Diego Padres. While other top contenders like the Astros, Yankees, and Dodgers also made some key offseason moves to help them make a run at the defending World Series champion Boston Red Sox. So how will it all shape up? I'm Jason Biondo, and today we present our predictions for the entire 2019 MLB regular season, postseason, and World Series winner. Don't forget to subscribe to TPS and put on your notifications because we post videos every single day. I think you guys should subscribe. It's a really good idea, and why would you not want sports content all the time? Click that button. I know you want to. First off, let's take a look at our projected award winners. AL MVP, Aaron Judge. Mike Trout is always going to be the front runner, but unless the LA Angels make the playoffs, it's hard to see him winning it this time. Mookie Betts will be in the running, but he's simply not going to repeat his historic 2018 season. We'll give the nod to Yankees slugger Aaron Judge here. He's establishing himself as the best power hitter in baseball, and the Yankees look like the best team in the American League. The MVP award often goes to the best player on the best team. If Judge stays healthy and produces 40+ homers and over 100 RBIs, it should be enough to land him his first MVP award. All rise for the Judge. NL MVP, Kris Bryant. Many folks seem to be sleeping on the Cubbies a bit this year, but we warn those folks to proceed with caution. Kris Bryant is still one of the game's elite all-around players. He's due to bounce back after a downish 2018 campaign. Bryant's powerful bat and supreme defense at third base will propel the Cubs to the postseason again, and he'll pick up the second MVP award of his young career. AL Cy Young, Justin Verlander. The race is wide open this year. Chris Sale, Corey Kluber, Luis Severino, Justin Verlander, and the reigning winner Blake Snell. This really is a coin flip, but we broke it down to Verlander and Kluber. Severino dealt with shoulder inflammation in spring training. Even Sale was hampered by shoulder woes last year as well. And we're a bit worried about his strong workload in recent years. It might be tough for Snell to repeat that flat-out sensational season, so that makes this a race between Verlander and Kluber. Verlander has been the best pitcher in the AL since his trade to Houston in 2017. He stayed remarkably healthy and is going to push for 20 wins. Thanks to that star-studded team around him, he could probably do it. I think Verlander is going to go away with the second Cy Young of his career. NL Cy Young, Max Scherzer. The NL Cy Young field probably won't be as open as the AL race this time around. Can Jacob deGrom put together that kind of season again? Clayton Kershaw has been dealing with back injuries, so that's a bit of a worry. But honestly, as a Mets fan, I think deGrom can definitely do it, so, I'm just biased though. Consider Aaron Nola of the Phillies a dark horse, but we're playing it safe and going with national stars Max Scherzer. He led the NL in both wins and strikeouts last season and has reached 6 straight All-Star games. Scherzer's Nationals might not be legit World Series contenders anymore, but he's still the NL's top pitcher if Kershaw isn't healthy. Again, we're just making the safe play here and going with the 3-time Cy Young winner, but can't really blame us though. AL Manager of the Year, Kevin Cash. Though they missed the playoffs in 2018, the Tampa Bay Rays were one of baseball's top surprises last year. This Moneyball team managed to win 90 games, but they figure to be even better this time around. Tommy Pham will be around for a full season to supply a much-needed bat, and Charlie Morton could be a nice number 2 to 3 starter in the rotation. The Rays have more than enough bats and quality pitching, so they should have just enough to make the playoffs. And that will give Kevin Cash the AL Manager of the Year award. This usually goes to the manager of a team that surprises everybody, and the Rays are our AL surprise team for 2019. NL Manager of the Year, Gabe Kapler. The Phillies collapsed and missed the playoffs in 2018, but they're locked and loaded to compete for a World Series now. Say hello to $330 million man and new face of the franchise, Bryce Harper. And say hello to All-Star catcher JT Realmuto, who might be the best in all of baseball behind home plate. We love what the Phillies did this offseason. They'll win the NL East title and end an 8-year postseason drought, which will give Mr. Kapler the NL Manager of the Year title. Alright, now we're going to look at some of the teams that will surprise you and disappoint you. Alright, let's start with surprises. Tampa Bay Rays. Like we said above, they've got a fine pitching staff and the lineup is loaded with speedy contract hitters who simply get on base. The Rays don't need to hit home runs to win games. This team is all about strategizing and diving into the analytics. They outsmart their opponents in the most creative ways. A wildcard berth is within reach this year, even in the brutal AL East. Minnesota Twins. Minnie was one of the bigger disappointments in 2018, but we love their chances of rebounding in 2019. 2019. This lineup got even more lethal with the addition of slugger Nelson Cruz, the versatile Ronald Torreyes, and power-hitting Marwin Gonzalez. Minnesota will make a run at the wildcard spot, and we shouldn't be too surprised if they topple the Cleveland Indians in the AL Central. San Diego Padres. The Padres signed all-star third baseman Manny Machado in the offseason. Obviously, he'll make quite the impact there. But the Padres are loaded with young talent and could bring up some prospects from baseball's top farm system. It's not crazy to think they could win 85-something games, even in the brutal, tough NL West. Alright, disappointments. Washington Nationals. They lost Bryce Harper in free agency and overpaid for all-star pitcher Patrick Corbin. Even though the Nationals have a championship-caliber rotation, the lineup has concerns, and the bullpen is a disaster. And oh, the NL East rival Phillies and Braves are kind of really good now. Some expect a rebound in Washington this year, but we're not buying it. Sorry, Washington. Gonna have to wait a while. Colorado Rockies. The Rockies have relied heavily on their lethal lineup to make the playoffs in the last 2 years, but a leaky rotation and underperforming bullpen will lead to a letdown year in 2019. You can only win with offense for so long, and the Rockies did very little to upgrade their weak pitching staff. We really expect regression here. Oakland Athletics. The A's rode a high-powered offense to 97 wins and a wild-card berth last year. We don't expect their offense to regress much, maybe not even at all, but can the Athletics really get by with this not-so-great rotation? We expect the A's to take a step back and miss the playoffs. Sorry, guys. Alright, now let's pick the 10 playoff teams. AL Division winners. AL Central. Cleveland Indians. Losing the likes of Michael Brantley, Cody Allen, and Andrew Miller in free agency will hurt. Luckily for the Tribe, they're playing in baseball's absolute worst division. Cleveland should be able to lock up the division with 88 to 95 wins. They might not be a true World Series contender, but they're far and away the very best in a very weak division. AL East. New York Yankees. 100 games is usually more than enough to win a division title, but the Pinstripes had to settle for a wild card spot. That's because the AL East and eventual World Series champion Boston Red Sox won a whopping 108 games. The Yankees lost to the Red Sox in the ALDS, but Yankee fans, don't worry. New York somehow got even better in the offseason, while Boston lost a large chunk of its elite bullpen. Not to mention their top stars simply won't repeat their amazing 2018 season. The Yankees re-signed the vastly underrated J.A. Happ. They gave him a 3-year deal and strengthened their elite bullpen by adding Adam Ottavino. It's hard to not like the pickup of DJ LeMahieu. Alright, we're giving the Yankees the AL division here. I mean, they're deeper and more balanced than the Red Sox. AL West. Houston Astros. A third straight division title is incoming. The Astros are still baseball's deepest team and are in prime position to be baseball's next dynasty. Their division might not be so tough this year either. The Texas Rangers and LA Angels didn't make any upgrades. The Seattle Mariners made a curious decision and committed a scorched earth rebuild. The Oakland Athletics may have a tough time repeating their incredible 2018 season as well. The Astros have baseball's deepest lineup and a strong rotation. They'll win the division with ease. AL wildcards. Boston Red Sox. As we said, regression is inevitable, but Mookie Betts and JT Martinez remain a lethal 1-2 combo at the top of the lineup. Chris Sale and David Price do enough to mask the problems at the back of the rotation. Boston clinches a 4th straight playoff berth. Tampa Bay Rays. They won 90 games in 2018 and made the necessary reinforcements. Charlie Morton could be a serviceable number 2 or 3 starter behind Blake Snell. Mike Zunino shores up the catcher's position. A full year with 2018 acquisition Tommy Pham, it should do wonders as well. Alright, the NL Division winners. NL Central, Milwaukee Brewers. The Brewers won 96 games in 2018 and barely took the NL Central crown from the Chicago Cubs. Milwaukee went all the way to Game 7 of the NLCS, but they fell to the Los Angeles Dodgers. That's okay. This is a young core that's just getting started. Rising star Christian Yelich should only get better. Hard to not like the pickup of former All-Star catcher Yasmani Grandal. Milwaukee has the best lineup in the division, and their elite bullpen can bail out the rotation on any given night. Give the Brewers their 2nd straight NL Central title here. NL East, Philadelphia Phillies. Before a late season collapse, the Phillies were neck and neck with the Atlanta Braves for the division title. Well, this young star-studded core has plenty of help arriving. Bryce Harper was the big catch, as we all know. Trust us, his $330 million contract will be worth it. At least we hope. But don't forget the pickups of all-star catcher JT Realmuto and consistent 300 hitter Gene Segura. Aaron Nola and Jake Arrieta solidify the rotation. Philly is simply deeper than their NL East foes. So we're going to give them their first division title since 2011. Aren't we so nice? NL West, Los Angeles Dodgers. Wash, rinse, repeat. The Dodgers should win their 7th straight NL West division title. Of course, the team is tired of celebrating division championships. They'd rather win a World Series after losing the last 2 fall classics. The Dodgers still have arguably baseball's best pitching staff, and the lineup remains deep. The hope is they'll stay healthy this time around. Maybe the Dodgers fall short in the postseason again. But this is their division to win in 2019, and they could probably do it. Hopefully they just win the World Series though in the end, like they missed the last 2 years. NL Wildcards. Chicago Cubs. Alright, some think this is the last chance for the Cubbies core to win it all. I'm not really sure about that, but they'll be one of the top teams in the NL again. They need John Lester to keep producing and for Yu Darvish to bounce back. And the lineup's just fine. Expect 90 to 95 wins for this group. Atlanta Braves. Gotta love the addition of all-star third baseman Josh Donaldson, while former fan favorite Brian McCann returns for a second stint. The defending NL East champs have a great mix of youth and veteran talent. They'll hold off the likes of Colorado, St. Louis, and Washington for the final playoff spot. Wildcard games. AL. Red Sox defeat Rays. Never count on the Rays, who are always dangerous in the postseason. That said, we like the Red Sox chance here. Having Chris Sale on the mound for a winner-take-all is monumental. And of course, the Red Sox have a more dangerous and balanced lineup than Tampa. Really, anything can happen in a one-game playoff, but we'll take the home team with the better pitcher and the better lineup. And they also won the World Series last year, so, you know. NL. Cubs defeat Braves. After losing to the Rockies in heartbreaking fashion during last year's wildcard game, the Cubs redeem themselves. They'll likely have Lester on the mound in this one, and experience is key. The Cubbies have reached the NLCS 3 times since 2015. That experience will only be on display when they cruise past the Braves to reach the NLDS. ALDS. Yankees over Red Sox in 4. For the 2nd straight year, the greatest rivalry in professional sports is renewed. This time, the Yankees avenge last year's gut-wrenching ALDS defeat and return the favor to the defending champion Red Sox. New York's rotation is far deeper on paper. Severino can counter Sale. Playoff David Price is almost never a good thing. The Pinstripes also have the far better bullpen, which always makes the difference in the postseason. Sorry Boston, no repeat here. Astros over Indians in 3. Yep, we've got the 2 same ALDS matches in 2019. The Astros are built for the postseason, having won the World Series in 2017 while reaching the ALCS again in 2018. They'll ride their deep rotation and perhaps baseball's best offense here. And that's when they take on the best team from a putrid AL Central division. Like last year, the Astros once again pummel Cleveland with their lineup, and the rotation will log down the Tribe's bats. This Indians team just isn't as deep as years past, and it'll show with another disappointing sweep at the hands of Houston. NLDS. Phillies over Cubs in 4. I don't know about you, but we're certainly buying the Phillies hype. They'll be the best team in the NL and will get to avoid scary NLDS matchups against the Brewers and Dodgers. Will the young and inexperienced Phillies be enough against the 2016 World Series champs? Well, of course they will. Adding Bryce Harper to that lineup changes everything, and Jake Arrieta should have some fun against his former teammates. Again, many consider this the Cubs' last chance to win a World Series title with this core. Well, in any case, their season ends on a sour note with an NLDS elimination against the Phillies. NLDS. Dodgers over Brewers in 5. A rematch of their thrilling 2018 NLCS that went to 7 games. The Dodgers' strong arms were just barely able to hold on against the potential Milwaukee lineup. Why should we expect anything to change? It's all about pitching in the postseason. We don't like how the Brewers ignored the need to upgrade their rotation. Their bullpen wore out as the postseason wore on, and the Dodgers got to it. Just call this the same old song and dance. ALCS. Astros over Yankees in 6. Really, it's a toss-up between perhaps baseball's 2 deepest and most star-studded teams. There is no major weakness on either side, and it's hard to pick against both the Astros and Yankees here. Actually, it's not because I'm a Mets fan, so. The lineups from top to bottom are fairly evenly matched. The Yankees no doubt have the better bullpen, but Houston's rotation just gets the nod here. Why? Because Justin Verlander is a Cy Young winner, and Mr. Clutch is in the postseason. Jarrett Cole, Lance McCullers, and Wade Miley shore up the rest of the rotation. The Yanks' only legitimate ace is Severino, but we think Verlander is going to be the better matchup here. The Astros barely got by the Yankees in 7 games during the 20 2017 ALCS. This time, their lights-out rotation will ensure the job is done in 6 games. NLCS, Phillies over Dodgers in 7. We've kind of developed a rule here. It's time to stop picking the Dodgers to win the World Series. They've had their chances to prove us wrong, and it keeps on failing. And unfortunately for Dodger fans, there's a team that's all geared up and ready to take the NL pennant away from them. The Phillies aren't just that up-and-coming team anymore. With the pickups of Harper and Realmuto, this lineup will be one of baseball's best in 2019. Aaron Nola and Jake Arrieta can counter Kershaw and the Dodgers' other pitchers. And hey, let's not rule out the Phillies at the deadline. Surely they'll take that opportunity to add more impact arms for the series. Rise and shine, Philly. Your baseball team is great again. And they're headed to the World Series for the first time in 10 years. World Series, Astros over Phillies in 6. The Astros dynasty was put on hold with a disappointing loss to the Red Sox in last year's ALDS, but they'll get back on track in 2019. Yes, Houston has lost some key pieces in free agency, but the farm system is loaded with guys who are MLB ready, and they could always deal some of the guys for help at the deadline. Houston again is built for the postseason. They won't have a historically great 108-win Red Sox team in the way this time. With Verlander, Jose Altuve, and Alex Bregman leading the way, this team will crush the competition en route to another World Series title. But the heads will stay up in Philly. This is only year 1 of Harper's 13-year pact. Undergoing some tough playoff losses are necessary. This young team has to experience some losing before they can win it all. Experience is key here as the Astros finish off Philly in 6 to capture their 2nd World Series title in 3 years. And I'm going to guess the final. The final game is going to be Astros 8, Phillies 5. There you have it. Who do you think wins the World Series in 2019? My money's on the Mets. I'm just kidding. Or am I? I don't know. We'll see. Join us in the comment section below. Make sure to follow myself and Total Pro Sports on social media. We post great content all the time. Follow us on Instagram, follow TPS on Twitter, and go subscribe to my YouTube page. I make videos all the time. And if you want more of me, then you can get more videos of me there. And it's all pretty entertaining. So go subscribe, follow us on social media all over. We love you guys. You guys are awesome. If you like this video, give it a like. It takes 1 click. Just 1 click. That's all you gotta do. Just boom, right there. 1 click. If this is your first time around TPS, make sure to subscribe to our channel because we post videos every single day. Every day is a new video, so subscribe. And subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's dope. Go do it. Of course, thank you so much for watching. I'm Jason Biondo, and I'll see you next time.
My knee.